request Dr. M.H. Gawani sir to deliver his presidential talk. Please, sir. Sir, unmute yourself, sir. Okay, sir. Okay,
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you. A very good morning to all. On the behalf of college, I first welcome you all. Today's program chief guest and resource person, Dr. Krishnan Veni, Assistant Professor, Center for Marine Science and Technology. Second resource person, Dr. Suvarnalata, Ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, Tamil Nadu. I would like to special thank Dr. Krishna Veni and Dr. Suvarnalata Ma'am for taking out time from their already busy schedule and joining us in this program. Vice Principal of our college, Professor S.N. Shinde sir, IQAC Coordinator Dr. Abhijit Yadav sir, Convener and HOD Department of Mathematics, Dr. Mahesh Vavre sir, Professor Nishank Pimpre sir, Co-Convener Professor Ashwini Kale, all faculty members and participants. Rajeshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya, now an autonomous known for its excellence in education, started in a warehouse with 50 students about half a century ago. This college paved and created its own education pattern, which is popularly known as Latur pattern. Our founder management members, under the leadership of Dr. Gopalji Patil, President Chhatrapati Shikshan Sanstha Latur, believed that education only made change in the life of rural and downtrodden students. With the motto, Pursuit of Excellence, in this college plans, implements, and try to achieve excellence in every sphere of education. To make my point more than 900 students in medical college, 30 students in AIMS, more than 60 students in NITs and IITs got admission. Respected ma'ams, our college is the only one college in India that is credited for maximum entries in medical and engineering colleges. In the HSC board result as well as the university result, we have shown our academic excellence every year. UGC accredited our college A grade 2 times. UGC also has given us college with potential for excellence status. With these landmark achievements, we turned into the first autonomous college in entire Marathwada region, and still we are only one. Since 2013-14, this college has widened its horizon with autonomy to cope with new challenges and expectation of higher education. Under the autonomy, along with curriculum, we have privilege to focus on overall development of students and their placements. We have an active placement set through which till now more than 1000 students got placed in various companies like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, ICICI, HDFC, Serum Institute, etc. All these efforts are recognized by the government of Maharashtra and awarded us with the first Best Educational Institute Award. The government also adopted the Shahu pattern as the state policy of education for schools and colleges. Yashwantrao Chavan Open University Nashik awarded Best Examination Center Award. Our parent university also honored us with Best College Award. Education World India Autonomous College Ranking 2021 has placed us at the position of 92nd rank. Best Higher Education Institute in Maharashtra 2021 award by Proxys Media New Delhi. Another one proud achievement of our college is one faculty member and 3 students selected for INSA Summer Research Fellowship 2020. Our one faculty member Dr. Abhijit Yadav, HOD Physics, for being listed in Stanford University, USA, top 2% scientist in the world ranking in applied physics and materials. With these academic achievements, our students also proved their excellence in NSS, NCC, sports, and culture. We bagged various prestigious awards and trophies in these activities. Here I mention the recent achievement of sports that our student Jyoti Pawar represented India in baseball at international. Agreed functional MOUs with Lily University France, NCL Pune, Laser, Macmillan, Symbiosis, Yaltais, Million Mind, National Stock Exchange, Global Talent Track, SBC and Skura Exchange and IIT Bombay. Journey of success can be figured out as started with only 50 students, which goes to 10,000 students at present. We have 10 UG programs, 14 PG programs, 15 PhD programs, and 32 certificate courses. We are fortunate to gain the trust of students and parents. I think this one is the greatest achievement of our college. This happens because we believe that every challenge is blessing in disguise. The current situation that we all are in due to COVID-19 is really tough for all of us. But as they say, every dark cloud has a silver lining. This situation gave us the opportunity to arrange online programs. I believe these types of programs also prove very beneficial for our teachers and students. Today's program, National E-Workshop, is something very different to usual program for our college, always organized. Generally, whenever women empowerment is being discussed, it's about economically and socially context. So today's topic of e-workshop is quite interesting that open door to new aspect of women empowerment for discussion. Women's empowerment is the process of empowering women. However, empowerment can be defined in many ways. In simple, it refers to increasing and improving the social, economic, political, and legal strength of the woman to ensure equal right to women. I think education is one of the most important means of empowering women with the knowledge, skills, and self-confidence necessary to participate fully in the development process. But despite notable efforts of the country around the globe that have appreciable expand access 960 million illiterate adults in the world, of whom two-thirds are women. More than one-third of the world adults, most of them women, have no access to printed knowledge, to new skill or technology that would improve the quality of their lives and help them shape and adapt the social and economic change. There are 130 million children who are not enrolled in primary school and 70% of them are girls. This is the condition of basic education. What can we expect in higher education, particularly in science and technology? Naturally, women haven't a powerful presence in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This can be attributed to two broad issues. First, women's perception and performance in society. And second, society expectation of their contribution. It should be recognized that the participation of women in STEAM is no longer simply an issue of gender equity, but it is also an issue that should be considered in national economic development. We have organized this workshop to empower the women with following themes: women in STEAM, physiopsychological issues, women's work, women's worth. I hope today's both resource person will deliver their lectures in these regards and enlighten us with their resourceful presentation. Once again, welcome all and best wishes to the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your presidential talk. Now I request today's first resource persons, Dr. Krishna Veni ma'am. So we shall start our the first session. So Dr. Krishna Veni ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Can you please know me?
Just raise your hand. You just raise your hand. I'll make you presentation. Ma'am, please raise your hand. I have to find your name in the list.
Yeah.
I can make you presenting. We joined with the name Krishnaveni ma'am, no?
Yeah, but I was not allowed to present my slide.
Okay, Krishnaveni. Yeah, I'm finding your name in the list to make you presentee. Okay. I make you present, ma'am. Okay, you can share now.
Yes. Shall I tell?
Yeah.
Yes. I think now you can see my slide.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can.
Good morning, one and all. First of all, I wish to thank the organizers for giving this opportunity to deliver the lecture on women empowerment for in STEM. My special thanks to Dr. Magesh Vavre, my dear friend, who thought I may be appropriate for this session, and I feel more responsible now. And I'm feeling very happy being a woman and representing women in science and technology and addressing the problem which we are facing in the development of our career in STEM. So this opportunity is very much welcoming, and I really thank the organizers, especially Professor Mahadev, Principal and Chairperson, Professor Jadhav, Professor Shinde, Vice Principal, and the organizer, Professor Dr. Vavre, and Dr. Ashwini Kale, the co-organizer. And I really want to appreciate Dr. Vavre because he has identified the right time for conduct of this National E-Workshop in the birth month of Madam Savitribai Phule, who is a Maharashtrian, and she's the activist who brought the importance of women education to limelight. So with this, I wish to start my presentation. So here I wish to highlight the socio and psychological issues faced by women in STEM, that is science, technology, education, engineering and mathematics. So I wish to start with Madam Savitribai Phule, because she's born in this month, that is January 3rd, and she's the first women liberator of India, and she has contributed a lot to this society of in women education. And with her support with the husband, Jyoti Rao, they started the first girls' school in way back in 1848 itself, and they also started a special library for women in the year 1863, and thereon the women empowerment started. That's what my gut feel is, and there is no doubt that number of women in STEM related field has increasing since 1990s. According to National Center for Education Statistics, in 2009, it was just 140,000 women graduated STEM degrees. But by 2016, that number grew over 2 lakhs. And nearly that is 43% increase in just 7 years. And imagine in 2020, it has grown well beyond that. There are reports about women empowerment. If we compare the that is graduates in STEM and the employed researchers who are women, so our India, it stands first place in that is producing the female graduates in STEM area, along with South Africa. But when we compare this with the employment strategy, India stands very low. That is only 14% of women take up the profession. Okay, so as well as in IT sectors, there are nearly 3 times more males than females. As well as in research programs, women represent only 1/3. And also coming to the awardees and recognition, again, women representation is very low, but however, it is increasing in the recent years. And according to the World Economic Forum Gender Gap Report, it's stated that it will take 257 years to eliminate the prevailing gender gap in the workforce globally. But India ranks 112th in the Global Gender Gap Index in 2020. Maybe we will come up and fill the gap soon. Although women graduates are more, the representation in science is merely only 30%, and the 35% of the STEM students are women. And the number of women in science and engineering is although growing, yet men continue to outnumber the women, especially at the upper levels of these professions. Although people take up job, the hierarchy, when you see the hierarchy, the upper positions are always handled by mostly men, only few women representatives. But if you take in the elementary, middle and high schools, both girls and boys excel in the as equals, that is in both maths and science. But when it comes to the representation in science and engineering disciplines at the graduation level and it again in the workplace level, this goes down. If you see here, see it from 50% it drops down to 3%. So it is highly alarming. And why this gap? Why there is such a gap in empowerment of women? And even if the women is empowered, why she is not getting much recognition or why she is not awarded? So why women not able to achieve like men? What must be the issues? So today we will deal about the issues that women face when they are in the STEM field. So first we can say that the social, cultural and environmental factors play a major role in the empowered women. And the key factors which perpetuate the gender STEM gaps include that is social, cultural, environmental factors such as gender stereotypes and male-dominated cultures, and psychological factors. Even the women who are inside this STEM field, they have certain psychological factors which affect this profession, like choosing between family and profession, and they have only fewer role models. And I feel that role model is a very important thing for inspiration, and we have very few role models. And also always there is a thing called the confidence gap in that is called maths anxiety. So many women feel that they are that they have anxiety when it comes to mathematics, but it's not the case actually. But because of the culture and the social and environmental factors, they have this. And even if they come to the profession, they are getting very less recognition. So first thing we can see that because of the male dominated culture, the first social issues faced by women is there is a gap in the salary. That is, women are paid 3 times lower than the men. So this causes a demotivation among the women to continue the career. So if you take even in the employment, the female employee when compared to male employees, they are evaluated as less competent and they are given poorer treatment. They are not able to take given the opportunity to take new managerial responsibilities. So if men and women are in equal position, the first preference is given to men, and then only if none is taken up, then only it is given to the women. And also they offer very less encouragement to pursue promotions and other opportunities for advancement. So many places they are hindered in their promotions. And also there is a stereotypic threat, that is the thought. There is the gender difference. So women are increasingly prominent in medicine, law and business, but only very few women become scientists and engineers. So this is because of the negative stereotypes persisting about their abilities. That is already the research also says that and they have a notion that men are mathematically superior and innately better suited to STEM fields than women. This is a common belief, but however, there are articles which are giving some cognitive gender differences as an explanation for small number of women in STEM. But in recent researches, these cognitive gender differences can also be further manipulated. That is, it can be occurred by anyone. That is, whether it is a man or women, it can be easily overcome by proper training. So this study shows the stereotypic threat and self-assessment. That is, when the women have that stereotypic threat, they tend to have lesser performance. Whereas when they don't face a stereotypic threat, You can see here the 17-19. There is almost equal. On par, the women can excel. Likewise, self-assessment. When the women are asked to assess themselves about their potential in mathematics, and see, they also have a psychological effect. When the subjects are told that men are better at this task, women tend to perform little lower. You can see here, men perform 55% and women perform 40%. Whereas when the subjects are not told, when they are told that there is no gender difference in performing this particular task, they are equally on par with men. You can see that both are at 42%. So it is just self-assessment. That is, we have to imbibe the women in science to self-assess themselves without the stereotypic thought. And other than that, psychologically, women also faces a lot of issues because of her multitasking ability, and she has to look after between the family as well as the profession. So I have listed a few psychological issues, and first and foremost thing is the motherhood and family responsibility. So women's absence from work to take care of a child is likely to affect her upward mobility in the workplace. Because anyway, she has to take some gap, at least 6 to 9 months gap for taking care of her baby and her family. And because of that, she may have some hindrance in upward mobility in her workplace, that is promotion and things like that. When women tend to face the double burden syndrome, that is, she is expected to take dual responsibilities of work from in office as well as home. So always women has a question that can I have a family without it damaging my career? So she has to take care both her children, family, as well as she has to excel in the work also. So she has the family responsibilities. So actually the women wants to be like this. That is, she has to take care of family as well as she has to hold the world. But what is actually happening is, see, the working women are always burdened with both office work as well as the household works, and she is most of the time looked as a price tag, that is earning personality, and she has to burden the whole family. Sometimes the working women face the responsibility of holding the husband's thing also, because most of the working women's husband, once women is working, earning much, he tend to relax. But at the same time, he is not responsible in taking hold of the household activities. So for a woman, marriage is not does not appear to hurt women, but however, having a children does affect the chances of advancement. So many women who want to achieve, either they give up having the child how much they wanted. That is, if they want to have 2 or more child, they prefer to have 1 child instead. So although they have a desire to have much good family, they will give up for their work responsibility. So because child care and family responsibility fall disproportionately on women, because of this she is having a psychological influence. And second thing is health issues. So most women find themselves juggling between the responsibilities of home as well as outside, adding to the workload and emotional burden. So the women is expected to work in home as well as to work as equivalent in workplace also. So she has to put extra scrutiny when she chooses work outside the house. So she will be facing physical health problems, which could increase the risk of experiencing mental distress too. So because of the household activities as well as taking care of the family, she may have the sleep disturbances which may interfere with the dopamine levels, leading to the imbalance associated with certain disorders. See, if you see the health, the women in the higher education or women in work, so 59% of women reported to absenteeism from work due to health issues, and 23% of women are reported to have aches and pains as the main health concern. And also 57% of the women spend less than 10% of their income on health. So they work more, but they tend to take less care of their health, which will reflect on the work environment. And the third thing is ignorance. So in most of the places, people does not want to hear the women's opinions, and people also discount their opinions. And most of the women, they feel ignored, or they suffer lack of respect. and they are criticized for their looks, judgment of appearance, and men also, most of the men, I don't say everyone, many won't give a personal space to them to understand why they are uncomfortable. So such type of things,
गाडी जात नाही बघा तिकडे.
such type of ignorance can also have a psychological impact on women's growth. And the next issue is harassment issue. So in G20 countries, women in these countries suffer 29% harassment issues, and in India it is highly alarming, that is 53% of women in India would report harassment. Harassment in the sense, I'm not just talking about the mobbing dress code, it also, and sexual harassment, it also verbal harassment. So this is a hardship which women have to face, and the stress which she gets out of this harassment is alarming. And so due to these problems, women can face difficulties when balancing her career and private life. The first thing men do is, if a woman is found competent, and if cannot damage her competency, so he tried to, see many places we have seen that academic bullying and accusations and attacks on women, but when they are not able to damage their profession, then they start commenting on their private life. So the women has a difficulty in balancing these accusations, and this creates stress, and some women even prefer to become distant from the business life, or it may lead to the breakdown of marriages. So both the things. So it may, for some women, if she finds that her work is important, she may have a breakdown of marriages, and some, if they find the family is important, they distant from the work environment. And sense of fit and belonging. So because in every field there is lower representation of women, there is no mentoring for women, and because of this the feeling of isolation comes, and there is an unsupportive work environment, and sometimes she is asked to work extra schedules. Men usually take up the lighter work, and since they think that women can handle, they give the extra work schedules. And also the women cannot advance in her career because she is not clear with the rules about the advancement and success, which men is very good at. And also we have workplace bias. That is, people tend to view women in masculine fields, such as the most STEM fields, as either competent or likable, but not both. That is, when you are competent, many people don't like you. But if you are less competent, many people will like you. So this is, no women is accepted as both competent and likable. Because of that, her nominations may be neither accepted nor rejected, but can be withheld, because she cannot go beyond that. So they will withhold it for certain reasons. And most of the men think that women should walk femininely, talk more femininely, dress more femininely. And if we take up a different turn, men are not able to accept it. Either they comment it in a different way. And the major factors, these becomes the major factors in the decision to leave the job. So here, if you see that women, they think that women always have a perspective of arriving a problem with heart, whereas men are arriving the problem with brain. But it's not the case always. So this is a report on the workplace bias, that is on competence and likability. So if you see the competence, both men and women are equal in successful employees. But when employees with ambiguous performance, if you see, although that is the performance is not to the standard, in that place men are considered as higher, whereas women are looked low. And in case of likability, if you see, employees with ambiguous performance, if the women is less performing, then they are liked. Whereas if they are successful employee, mostly they are not liked. Only men are considered as successful one. So she has to pay the price of social rejection in the form of being disliked. So this actually reflect for the evaluation recommendations about reward allocation in future. And how do we address these environmental and cultural issues? So the first thing what I feel is you have to create a growth mindset environment. And we have to create a focused self-assessment, because even now the women in science, they don't feel that they are not able to assess themselves properly. So we have to train them to assess them properly, and also we have to encourage them to develop the spatial skills by training, and also sensitize the young people that spatial skills are not innate but it can be developed. So it is not the wealth of men alone. Anybody can develop. And also implement mentoring programs and effective work-life policies can lower the early career give-ups by women. And also we should also throw over the implicit bias. That is always, even the women in science have the unconscious nature of bias. So these things like likability and competence, so every woman is feeling, so that has to be thrown away. And also the environment should be made in such a way that the women feels a sense of fitness. This can be achieved by good professional personal interaction with colleagues, senior faculty's interest in the professional development, and fair treatment for junior faculty. So in my perception, I think two things are very, very important for women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. One is role model, and the second thing is mindset. So if we have these two things, we can overcome all other issues. That's what my gut feeling. So here, if you see the Nobel Prize winners, that is women Nobel laureates. So we have 23 women Nobel laureates in the field of physics, chemistry, physiology, and medicine. Although we have 58 when it comes to peace as well as economics. But since it is a STEM, I'm considering physics, chemistry, and physiology, medicine. So among the 23, you can see that the representation of medicine is high, because many men and the society also accept women as health workers and health professionals, but they are very less in admitting them as a physicist or chemist or a mathematician. So here you can see that only 4 physics and 7 chemistry Nobel laureates. But however, the trend, if you see from 4, it has become to 28. So in the recent years, it is increasing. So any women in STEM field should have role models in their own field. So there are a lot of role models for in every field. But for me, being an oceanographist or marine biologist, I consider Sylvia Earle. She is an award-winning oceanographer, and she is a scuba diver. So at the age of even 90, she used to dive in all the sea and ocean to explore them, and she is a very, very inspiring role model for me. And at the same time, I have also 2 young women scientists, that is Doudna and Emanuele, who are the first female duo jointly win the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for their genome editing, that is CRISPR technology, in 2020. So I have old as well as 2 young role models. And likewise, every individual in STEM should have their own role models to excel in their field. And the second thing I told is our mindset. So the society expects us to have a fixed mindset, but it is not the right thing. So even when you have a fixed mindset, when challenges come, we try to avoid the challenges. Whereas the growth mindset, they will embrace the challenges. When it comes to obstacles, because in any field, whether men or women, they will have obstacles in their growth performance. So when it comes to obstacles, the fixed mindset people will give up easily. Whereas when you have a growth mindset, it will persist in the face of setbacks. And when it comes to effort, fixed mindset people think that whatever effort we put in may be fruitless and it may be worse. But when you have a growth mindset, the efforts are seen as a path to mastery. And when it comes to criticism, fixed mindset people, they ignore useful negative feedback. But when it comes to criticism, you have to learn from the criticism. So when you have a growth mindset, you can learn from the criticism. And coming to the success of others, other success may actually threaten you, and it may hamper your success rate also when you have a fixed mindset. Whereas when you have a growth mindset, you can learn lessons and you can have inspiration from the success of others. So always for a women, not only women, for everyone, it is very important to have a growth mindset in order to excel in a particular field. So now coming to the final thing, that is how to close the STEM gap. So until the gender gap is closed, we lose every day on intelligence and innovation women can bring to STEM. So when say many of the women related architectures have been very less represented in the early years, but now it is not the case. For example, the voice recognition, initially only the male voice are only recognized. They think that only men can talk or so, something like that. But only later years, the voice can recognize, voice recognizer can recognize both male and female. Likewise, because men are dominated, they try to invent things which are pertaining to their. So women representation should be there to bring the innovation, wherein the intelligence and innovation for women can also flourish. So for closing this gap, we actually have three things. First thing is we should imbibe, or we have to cultivate the confidence and skills. By spreading the word about girls and women's achievements in maths and science, and teach the girls at the school level itself that intellectual skills, including spatial skills, are acquired. It is not innate. And teach students about stereotype threat and promote a growth mindset environment, and help girls recognize their career relevant skills, because many doesn't know what is their skill and in which career they have to choose. And second thing is improve the support. So proactive steps have to be taken to support women in STEM, in major STEM major areas. I think the second speaker will be addressing these awards, fellowships, and fundings. Recently, even India is having a lot of taken a lot of proactive steps to support the women in STEM. And not only this, the organization has to have an assessment of the climate and work environment for women in STEM, because without addressing the work environment, it is not possible for them to take to the next level. And they have to ensure mentoring, especially women mentors should be included in each organization for mentoring the women in science. And they should also support women work-life balance, like on-site high-quality childcare. If on-site high-quality childcare is given in the organization itself, the women will feel more protected, and she can leave her child in the crèche and she can work, and whenever she can visit, instead of leaving it somewhere. And also, third thing is break the biases. So we have to raise awarenesses about bias against women in STEM and take steps to correct the implicit bias. Finally, I want to conclude with the quote of Shakuntala Devi. She's considered as the human computer who can calculate 13 into 13 digits in a fraction of a second than the computer. And she says that nobody challenges me, I challenge myself. So this is the one which everybody should have, and especially the women should have the challenges. She should set her challenge, and she should overcome that. And it's not that she has to look for others. It is she who have to come up with her, come out of this psychological and social issues, and she has to excel. And we are women, and we can do it. And I don't deny that we can. Our upliftment is with the support of men and women. And I also thank the men who have helped me to excel in this field, and Dr. Laureate. If you have any questions, I can. Otherwise, thank you. I'm ready to take up some questions.
Okay. Any questions from the participants?
No.
Yes, Patanaga sir, you have a question?
No, sir, no.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Madam,
I have one question.
Yes, sir, you can ask your question, please. Yes.
My name is Sheetal Dongre. I have one question. How to overcome from this atmosphere where we live? They say you are girl, not all things all about. Hello,
Yes.
you can see me? Sorry, you can you voice me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Please go.
My question is that in our atmosphere, all says you are girl.
Okay.
All is not about you, like man. Then how we um, convert it our mindset
Yeah.
or opposite mindset to understand both are same, men as well as female.
Yes. So you are talking about the cultural and environmental threat, that is
Ye-
environment. They don't accept women as the achiever, isn't it?
yes, ma'am.
Just because we are girls, we are not seen as a achiever. Fine. So this is actually this is not a thought which has come today, but it is rooted for several decades or several years. So it is not possible to root out this in one day or two. But however, reforms are happening in all over the world, and all over the world they have developed some K-12 program wherein they start educating or creating awareness in the school level and also among the parents, because the parents and the school level teachers are responsible for bringing about the potentials of women or girl students. So there itself we have to address, because from the child itself the girl should know that she is equally responsible, and also men should the boy should also accept that the girl are equal to us. So this has to come, this has to be cultivated from the family as well as in the school levels. So only with this, so the awareness are created world over, and little changes are happening, and hope this will turn into a fruitful thing in coming years.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other question, please, from the participants?
So if there are no queries, I thank the organizers for giving given the opportunities for me to deliver the lecture. Thank
Stop your screen now, presenting. Yes, you will present.
you. The
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Krishna Veni, ma'am, for your views on this women empowerment in STEM and what is the position of women and girl.
Content sharing there,
Start session 2 and put her views on the topic of women empowerment in STEM. Dr. Swarnlata, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I would like to request Dr. Samantha, ma'am.
And you can share your presentation. You can share your presentation, ma'am.
Unmute yourself, ma'am.
Uh, Please share your screen.
Hello, ma'am. You are audible. Yes, some echo is there.
I think you are joined with two devices and other devices with you.
No. Your screen is not visible, ma'am. No, ma'am. Your screen is not visible. Yeah, it is now visible. Okay, ma'am. Please. Yes, ma'am. You are audible. Your screen is visible.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Very good afternoon to one and all. So, for the past half an hour, we have heard about the sociological and psychological and issues about women empowerment in STEM. So, first at the outset, let me first thank the President, Secretary, Principal, and the conveners Dr. Magesh and the co-convener Ashwini, and the whole organizing committee, Department of Mathematics, to Maharashtra, for this wonderful opportunity to share my views of women empowerment in STEM. So during this pandemic situation, so organizing such an event is not an easy job. Yet we have on
Okay, madam has left now. Ma'am, share screen once again. Hello, ma'am. Krishnaveri ma'am, I think madam has left the meeting.
She is facing some technical issues. She has
Okay.
got signed out of this Microsoft Teams. She is joining.
Okay. Okay, let the ma'am join and then we'll start our session. Okay, ma'am has joined now.
She is rejoining. Please allow her.
Yeah, I joined, ma'am.
Please let her in.
Ask her to put on video. One session will start, she can put off her video then. I want to make her presentee.
Sir, please allow me to share the slides.
Hello. So now shote mera. करतोय तेच. Finding her name. Ma'am, will you please raise your hand so that I can see you in the list? Okay, I make you presenter. You can share the screen. Please, ma'am. Okay, screen is visible. If technical problem occurs, you can put off your video, ma'am. Screen is visible, ma'am.
Hope now it is everything okay. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Hope now you are using my slides. Now the control is on.
அந்த சேஷன் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி மறுபடியும் ஷேர் பண்ணி பாருங்க. மறுபடியும் ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. ஸ்லைடு மேக்ஸைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. ஏன்னா நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணா அதே
Is it okay?
अरे आप पता है ते डान्स लेकर रात्री नाचायला येते गाण्याचं लग्नाचं बँड ऐकून राधे वाजायला का आज मी नाचायची का हा नाही का काय काय ते दे 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 दे
Now you are able to see my slides. Anyway, I'll try to manage with that thing.
बाप पुढे गेला कुठं
Participants are requested to mute yourself. Ma'am, your screen is visible. You can start your session now.
Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you. So due to some technical issues, I am unable to set right it. Okay. Coming back, very good afternoon to all of you. First, let me thank the President, Secretary, Principal, conveners, Dr. Magesh Vavre, and the co-convener Ashmi, and the whole organizing committee, Department of Mathematics, Rajeshri Shahu Mahavidyalaya, Latur, Maharashtra, for this wonderful opportunity to share my views of on women empowerment in STEM in this national e-workshop. So really, it is not an easy task to organize such events in this pandemic period. But happy to this situation to realize the need and significance of science and technology and the role of women during this pandemic period. So before we talk about how to empower women and what are the issues faced by women both in the society as well as in the family circumstances, we should first know why we need to empower. So many scholars, legends, they have given many definitions and meanings for empowerment, but still some I want to highlight. Empowerment, it is a meaningful step that brings about a positive change. So it is a process that brings power in individuals over their own lives, society, and in their community. So empowerment first stems from self-respect. So the definition for your empowerment, it is a degree of autonomy and self-determination. So we are in a gender-biased society, and how do we ensure gender parity all year long? We are in a world where women are often judged for the most trivial of choices. So for the past half an hour, you have heard about the various issues or factors affecting the role of women in family as well as in society, and particularly in.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
You can press F5 to view the slide, and you can go to next slide. You press F5 slideshow.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Press F5 or Control L.
Yes, sir.
Just press F5. F5.
What happened, Sirji?
No, I am requesting madam to press F5 so that the screen will be viewable, full screen of that PowerPoint. Please continue, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
See, again, she is having technical glitch. So she will be joining soon.
Okay, okay, okay.
சரி நான் லீவ் பண்றேன், நீங்க இங்க வரீங்களா? பென்ட்ரைவ் நான்
Participants are requested to stay tuned. Madam will join soon.
see if you can allow me to share the slide. I can share her slide. Please allow me to share the slide. Give me the control, please.
I'll make you present, madam. You can share.
Wow. நீங்க எனக்கும் இருக்கு. ஷேர் ஆகுதா பாருங்க. Okay.
Yeah, screen is visible.
How to view it? Sorry for the inconvenience. We have met with some technical issues in our institute internet problem. Okay, so is it okay now?
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay.
Sir, shall I proceed?
Yeah, yes, sure. Please proceed.
இங்க வியூ பண்ண முடியல. என்னோட ஃபேஸ் அதெல்லாம் வராது என்னோட. ஆனா நீ பேசுங்க. Sir, is it okay now?
Okay, ma'am. You can please proceed.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please start, ma'am.
Is it okay now, sir?
Yeah, it's okay. Please proceed.
Really very sorry for the inconvenience. We have
No,
met
it's
the
okay.
technical
It's
issues
okay.
in our post-institute internet problem. So for the past half an hour, you have heard about the various issues and challenges faced by women, particularly in STEM. So, okay, sir, am I audible?
Yeah, audible, ma'am. You continue. Please continue. It's audible.
Yeah, sir. So now we will hear about women's work and women's worth. So, as a woman, what she expects from the society and what the society expects from the women. So first, let us see about the general introduction about women empowerment as a whole, and then the status of women in various sectors, recognition of women's work, and status of women in India with special reference, some women's work and work in STEM, and though the challenges and issues faced by women is discussed by Dr. Krishnaveni, yet I'll add some more points, and various organizations and schemes for women to prove themselves, and finally I'll conclude. We are in a gender biased society, and how do we ensure gender parity all year long? We are in a world where women are often misjudged for their trivial choices. So, as a woman, what the society expects and how it perceives a woman, and what the transformation will bring about the empowerment in women. So, starting from homemaker and the transformation to policy maker. So, she has to transform from a family into a society. So, we have to consider the 5 factors: social, educational, economic, political and psychological factors. So if we consider women empowerment in these 5 categories, then we can see the transformation from homemaker to policy maker. So as a woman, she has many roles. So she has pointed out that she is having multitasking and whatever may be. So she is responsible for many activities in family, starting from caring, cooking, cleaning, whatever may be. And then she has to transform into various management skills, personality development, and then various decision making, time management, and then job skills, many. So if we consider via these 5 factors: social factor, educational factor, economic, political and psychological, then we can see the real empowerment in any woman. So since the social and psychological factors are dealt by Dr. Krishnaveni, just I will highlight the role of women in politics and the issues faced by them, and then I will come into the economical factor, and then we will switch over to the rest of the thing. So women in politics. So see here I have given a report, the participation of women or women's representation in parliament. Still, some countries they have the women's representation in a single digit.
So we, India, happy that it is ahead of its neighbors with more women in politics. So even I'll quote an example. Even in the developed countries, for example, in US, recently you might have heard about Kamala, elected as a vice president. So even in 2016, Hillary Clinton, she has nominated as that candidate. But in India, we have many prime ministers and presidents as women in politics. So again, I wish to quote a report, a recent study by the Center for Social Research and UN Women shows that violence against women in politics is on the rise in 3 South Asian countries. I have stick on to the Asian country, particularly Pakistan, India, and Nepal. Really, on seeing this report, I shocked. See, I thought when we enter into politics, we had some voice and we can bring all the governance laws to our hand. But still, women in politics, they are facing many problems. See, the threatens or the various factors responsible for violence against women in politics: sexual, physical, emotional, character assassination, verbal abuse, threat, kidnapping, and many other issues. So the factors responsible for violence, it is inadequate implementation of laws. Even though it is implemented, still it is not in the existing power structure. And another factor is insufficient support from police and judiciary, and the stark socio-economic divide. So people, we are talking about empowerment, upliftment of women and child. We are having a ministry for development of women and child. And then see, even the women in politics, they are suffering, and they have suffered a lot in the past. So women with political power and background is not recognized, and how we can talk about women's work and women's worth, and then in turn about the empowerment. So even a woman with political background and power in her hand, she is unable to execute her work. Okay, so still she is not recognized. And one more example I want to quote, even in the various presidents of ward councillors and other things, though they are elected and then they have the power, still they are like Babidals, and the key is with their husbands. So they have to act according to them. So this is the situation of women in political sector. And then coming to the economical background. So this economics, it is also, women in economics, it also very important. People say money can't buy happiness, but being at an economic disadvantage can take away access to becoming empowered. So being poor, landless, deprived, or oppressed, it doesn't allow access to resources that those in good financial standings do. So we have to fill this gap, and this will bring everyone to have an equal footing, and women in particular would gain a more significant share or control over the material, human, intellectual, and in turn the financial sources. A women's unpaid work, it works 43 times the annual income of a very branded company, Apple, okay, the biggest company. A recent report, it highlights this thing. And in India, the unpaid work done by women looking after their homes and children is worth 3.1% of the country's GDP. So women spend 312 minutes per day in urban areas and 291 minutes per day in rural areas, and such paid care work is added. So this is the status of women, and this is the economical status of women in India. Okay, so still some jobs, it needs suits, not the skirts. So this is the scenario, and then we have to overcome such things. So this is an Oxfam report highlight the status of women in the economical sector. So do we really empower? Not at all. So in what ways we have to improve? Okay. So, but I am happy that this COVID period, okay, so though we are not recognized, but we are digitally empowered. So even a family girl, she is able to operate cell phones, and then she is helping her students, children in studying their online education via online. So another important factor is that education. So it is also very, very important. If she has given the right to get knowledge, then she can rule over anything. So the thing is, we have to give space. Okay. So if we give space in her working place, then she will step into the space. So that is the thing I want to suggest, or this is the scenario here. So do we really empowered? No, we are not at all, because when compared with the world's average percentage, still we are in the single digit. So we have to come up. So in the recent past, only we are heard about that International Women's Day celebration, and then national level women's celebration, and many laws and procedures for protecting the child and the girl, women in the, okay. So this clearly it is evident that many issues or challenges they are faced by the women in the day-to-day life. So how to eradicate that? So though we are not really empowered, still I have some examples to inspire, because some of the participants may be in the scholars cadre. So the real empowerment, it lies, recently you might have heard about the youngest mayor of India from Kerala, that is Arya Rajendran. Okay, see, this is to show the statistics. She is 21 years old, and she is the youngest mayor of Tirunelveli Corporation. And this record is beaten by her. And then earlier, Sabita Begum from Kollam Corporation. She is 23 years old, and she is the youngest till the election of Arya Rajendran. Okay, so in the 21 years, they are able to hold such questions. Yes. Okay, so the only thing is she can achieve via the most important factor is education. Okay, so and another one thing, not only that education, see another woman by name Rekha, she is 45 years old and she is having 4 kids. She is the India's first and only licensed fisher woman to fish in the deep sea. So we are slowly coming up, and then we prove ourselves. And these examples, they are very familiar to you. So I'll skip those things. So the thing is, when we excel, or if we give space in these 3 sectors, education, economics, and in politics. Okay, so we can bring the change in the world. So since I don't want to deviate much from the workshop, that is empowerment in STEM, here are some examples. Okay, so women in STEM made their mark in 2019. So just I have quoted or highlighted the women in STEM in 2019 only. The list, it goes on. Okay. So first I'll start with Dr. Manjula Reddy. She's the Chief Scientist at the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, Hyderabad. Though her work, she has identified enzymes that cleave the cell wall and discover novel mechanisms by which spacemaker enzymes function. Okay. She has achieved the Infosys Prize 2019 in Life Sciences. Okay, so for her groundbreaking discoveries concerning the structure of cells. So in microbiology, okay, she has changed the arc of microbiology and her potential in creating a new class of antibiotics to combat antibiotic-resistant microbes. So Dr. Manjula Reddy. And then Komal Magdani. She's the head in engineering and business intelligence. For the senior director and head of engineering and business intelligence at Uber. Okay, so it was not an easy ride from Surat to Silicon Valley. Okay. So coming from a conservative society where not just women but even men who didn't go to the college at this place, and she put her feet down to travel 200 kilometers from college. But yet she has made a remarkable change in it. So Komal, she is an active potential women. She is actively part of two initiatives, that is Women Who Code and Girls Who Code. So both the initiatives aim at reducing the gender gap in technology and bring increased access to computer science for women. So she is the head of this engineering and business intelligence. So it is not an easy thing. So women is actually involved in technology. And then Dr. Rohini Rao. So Rohini Rao, who was always called the jack of all trades, and she is the youngest senior resident medical officer at Kaveri Hospitals. So though medical was not the first choice, she grew to love it because of her anatomy professor, Anbumani, and she got her distinction in anatomy in spite of taking part in 7 sailing championships. So during the first year itself, she has won 2 in the first year of MBBS. Okay, so why I am saying in depth about these achievers is we have to, as ma'am pointed out, we have to set a role model, and then we have to fix the target, and then we have to work towards it, and then we have to achieve. Okay. So in November 2019, Rohini Rao graduated from the University of Edinburgh with her master's in internal medicine, a stark contrast to what she did earlier this year when she helped that all women's sailing team. Okay, so J80 World Championships in Spain. Okay, so this is about Rohini Rao. And Aditi Senji, she is the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Awardee. She is the first to hold this Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Awardee in physical science. So she became the woman to be awarded the Bhatnagar Prize by CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. This one is considered to be the top science award in India. Prestigious award, and then it is considered as the better one and the best one than any personal achievement. So this thing we have to work at the earliest stage of our doctoral program itself, and I am happy to share that I have also applied for the thing during my PhD career. And then at that time, I'm telling about the drawback why I am not getting those things. We from the southern tip of India, we are not having that laser experiment facility at that time. So we have to struggle for the thing. And then since Mumbai, BAC, TIFR, everything is equipped with all sophisticated instruments, those people, they are able to get those things. So what I am telling here is we have to come up from our circle, and then we have to do. If we are giving the right education, we can also prove ourselves. So that is the lesson we have to learn from Aditi Singh. Okay, and then Gagandeep Kang. She's the first Indian women scientist of Royal Society Fellow. Okay, so RSA, it is another prestigious thing. Over 360 years, none of women can hold this thing. So Gagandeep Kang, she's the first Indian women scientist, and really inspiring. Okay, so she is the executive director of Translational Health Science and Technology Institute, Faridabad, and Kang is a leading scientist in India, and her main research focus is on viral infections in children and the testing of rotaviral vaccines. So in her 12 years of schooling, Kang went to 10 schools since her father was working in the Indian Railways. and they were constantly on the move. See how she has struggled to get the school education, and even then she spent her holidays in reading and trying to figure out the classes she is. So in such a way, we have to cultivate ourselves to achieve our target. And then Sunita Sharawagi, so she's currently the Institute Chair Professor in Computer Science and Engineering at IIT Bombay. Okay, so she developed the formalism of semi-Markov conditional random fields for the task of segmenting out sequences of words which might correspond to the named entities. So Saravagi is one of the pioneers in the fields of data mining and machine learning. She works on extracting structured information from unstructured data, which have a profound practical impact. So for this work, she has marked in 2019. And Mutaya Vanita, she is not she's familiar to all. Okay. She has she's the top rocket woman who made her mark in 2019. Now she's the project director of Chandrayaan 2. So a second rocket woman, then Ritu is your first one. Since I have highlighted only the achievements during 2019. And then Roshini Nadar Malhotra. And she is the CEO. So she is another interesting fellow, CEO of HCL Corporation. Roshini Malhotra is featured the world's 100 most powerful women in 2019 by Forbes. So she's the IT giant, we can call. Okay. So why I am highlighting is so on seeing their achievements, so the family or the education, okay, it should not stop at any moment. We have to run. Okay, so Roshini Malhotra, she has spent a significant amount of time in her initiative, that is Vidyanyan, a leadership academy for economically underprivileged and meritorious students for rural areas, particularly in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so they have made many achievements. Not only the highlighted one. Apart from this achievements, they are doing many things for the women empowerment, and in turn, they bringing up the development of child and the women. And then a special reference, Professor Parimala Raman, the outstanding thing on the announcement during March 2020. Okay, so the government of India has announced 11 chairs in the names of eminent Indian women scientists in various fields to inspire, encourage, and empower women. Okay, she is from University of Hyderabad, and she is one of the chairs named after Professor Parimala Raman, former adjunct professor of School of Mathematics and Statistics. And she is the only living Indian women scientist to get this honor. So it is really a prestigious one. And the chair have been instituted in various areas of research, including agriculture, biotechnology, immunology, phytomedicine, biochemistry, medicine, social sciences, earth science, geoscience, engineering, mathematics, physics, and other fundamental researches. So this is a special reference and the achievement from India. Okay, so we all feel proud to have this professor. And another report, that is, you all are familiar with the Indian Academy of Sciences, that INSA, NASA, working in the headquarters of Bangalore and New Delhi and Allahabad, Indian Academy of Science, another science forum. Okay, so there are many academic fellows in this forum, that is Indian Academy of Sciences. So here I have given one statistics to highlight the status of women in Indian Academy of Sciences. So hope I have not much deviated from the theme of that workshop. So present fellows see 1017, but the present women fellows, so women representatives, it is 91. So it is a very what can I say? So really the status of women is worse. in the various sectors, say animal science, chemistry, earth, planetary sciences, engineering and technology, mathematical sciences, biology, medicine, physics, and plant sciences. Though we have a bigger number, yet one or two female fellows are present in this Indian Academy of Sciences. So whenever they are organizing some conferences sponsored from Indian Academy of Sciences, I used to jot out the number of female representatives from this academy. So nearly one or two or even none. So this Indian Academy of Science, another prestigious thing or a prestigious forum highlighting the recognition of women in various sectors. See the percentage-wise composition of fellows from 1995 to 2006, it is only from see 5.25%. So it is really worse, and then we have to come up. So in what way we can empower and then we can excel? So the various ways to empower is, first one is safety. As she rightly pointed out, the previous resource person, safety in the workplace. And safety, she has mentioned that on-site child care is, if it is provided, women can excel. So for working women herself, she is suffering a lot in the working place. And then along with the children, I don't know how it is possible. So first, our government, they should insist safety, protection. Protection is very, very important for any type of work. Okay, and then education. It is very, very important. Education is the most important factor in empowering women. And then healthcare and hygiene. It is also very, very important. And then gender inequality. Okay, so for the past two or from 18th century onwards, we are talking about gender inequality. Okay, so if this can be ignored, or if we come up with this equality, okay, then I think almost all the problems will be solved. And then job skills. So if we think over in various ways, we can empower women. So one thing about this safety, so we are talking about many laws, governance, and many procedures are adapted, and then we have empowered, and then we have transformed from family issues to society, and then we are placing in politics everywhere. But the safety, the recent report during 2019 under POCSA Act, okay, which was established during 2012, nearly 1.5 lakhs cases are filed under POCSA Act. See the worst condition of the child and women in our country. So how can we eradicate those things? So if we come up with the change within ourselves, unless we can't bring the change. So it is very, very horrible, and also we can't tolerate this thing. So many rape cases, and then sexual harassment issues in workplace, even in schools. Recently, yesterday or day before yesterday, so we have heard that some 50 years old women was raped in a temple sector. Okay, so this is very, very horrible. So first thing is safety. So we have to many national commissions, and then many acts, and the Ministry of Child and Women Development, they are engaging many programs, procedures to safeguard the female and child. So this can be eradicated if we bring education in the school level. So this is very, very important, and we have to look in this view. So there are many ways to empower, and apart from all these things, I suggest, or I beg the society, if you give self-respect, dignity, self-esteem, then we don't want a special recognition from the government or in the working place or whatever may be. So if we are treated equally, it is more than enough for women to lead a very protective and safety life. So that is very, very important. So why we are often talking about this women empowerment, women empowerment. So let me tell about various organizations of for women in science. So there are many national and international groups for empowering women participation in science. DST, Task Force on Women in Science. Okay, so Department of Science and Technology, and they are doing tremendous work in this area. And then Indian Women Scientists Association, and then IUPAP Working Group on Women in Physics, and European Union Research Activity on Women and Science. The list it goes on. Here I have filtered, and then I have stick on to that STEM alone. Okay, so apart from this thing, so I have listed some schemes and awards for women in India, particularly in science and technology. So you might have familiar with these things. SERB, Science and Engineering Research Board, particularly for Women Excellence Award, a National Postdoctoral Fellowship, particularly for women, and then various scientists scheme, and IWM for mathematics, Indian women in mathematics. They are doing every year they are conducting some national as well as international conferences and various programs, especially for women in mathematics. And then another thing is your SERB Power Grant Scheme. So this is recently launched during October 2020. They have launched this SERB Power Schemes, Power Fellowships under two streams. They have introduced and they have launched this Power Grant Scheme, especially for women. So, and in this power grant also they have two levels for competing with national central institutes and the national level institutes. So there are two streams, and you will have ample opportunities in this SERB Power Scheme. And another thing is Women Scientist Scheme for A, B, C or there, research in basic and applied science. This is very, very important, and also it is very specific for women who they have a breaking career. Okay, so they might have had their graduation, and then they have obtained their doctoral program, but due to that marriage and other family issues, there may be some break in their career. So in order to enhance or empower them, they have introduced these schemes, research in basic applied science and the science and technology interventions for social benefit, and internships in IPR for self-empowerment. So it is very, very useful for again continuing our education or in term to prove ourselves, women scientist scheme. So here also I have restricted some of them which is stick on particular to our STEM alone. So many opportunities, hidden opportunities are there. We have to go and search it. Okay, so and then direct benefit transfer, DBT. Okay, so Government of India, they have launched many programs under this direct benefit transfer. That is Disha program for women in science, national science for incentive to girls for secondary education. Again, postdoctoral fellowship for women under this DBT, and Pragati scholarship for girls diploma institutes and particularly for colleges, and Swami Vivekananda single girl child fellowship for research in social sciences. So many opportunities are there. The only thing is we have to give space for education for particularly children, girl child. Okay. So apart from this various awards and schemes, but for women in science, some other schemes I have highlighted here. Okay, so here I have quoted Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme, one-stop center scheme, women helpline scheme, and Ujwala, and then working women hostel. So this thing anyone can adopt or we can apply for this scheme. And then Ministry approves new project under Ujwala, not only for reintegration of victims of trafficking and commercial sexual exploitations. Okay, so many schemes are available. And then here I have highlighted many, and then finally this Nirbhaya. Okay, so this another very what can I say, Nirbhaya scheme. It agitated whole the capital of India, Delhi. Okay, so Nirbhaya scheme for the rescue of your from sexual harassment and other things. So many young empowerment schemes are available. So you please don't worry about the things that we are not up to that mark, and then we are unable to excel like this thing. So many schemes are available and ample opportunities are there. So let me conclude my talk, that is women's work and women's work. Okay, so what about the current scenario or current status of women's work in family as well as in a society, and then why we are stressing that women's work. Okay, so let me conclude my talk with a famous quote by Dr. Ambedkar, the social reformer. I measure the progress of any community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. So, why he has stated like this? Women empowerment is very necessary and essential for the development of a society, since it enhances both the quality as well as quantity of human resources available for the development. So here, science and technology play a vital role in the development of a country, not only in terms of contributing the growth of national income, but also it ensures national security and social stability. It is very important. We are not simply working for national income. It ensures national security and social stability. So hence it is the need of that to women to be empowered, particularly in STEM. And education, it is the only weapon that can bring change over the world, particularly girls' education. It is a strategy to bring development to our society. So educated women tend to be more informed and can take greater control of her life and gain inclusion in decision-making processes. So what we request you is, we want self-respect, self-esteem, and then dignity. If these three are maintained, we can uplift to, not to some extent, we can fully uplift. So with this thing, women in leadership achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world, it is the theme to be celebrated for International Women's Day in 2021. So the thing is, in almost the invention or the discovery of the drug for this COVID-19, the COVID-19 issues. Okay, so in all the teams, at least representation of women is there. So she has the major role, and women in leadership. So the theme celebrates this tremendous efforts by women and girls around the world in shaping a more equal future, and particularly the recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so it is also aligned with the theme of the 65th session of Commission of the Status of Women. Women's full and effective participation and decision making in public life, as well as the elimination of violence for achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. So this women's right to decision making in all areas of life, equal pay, it is also another important thing, equal sharing of unpaid care and domestic work, and end all forms of violence against women and girls, and help the services that respond to their needs. So this is the theme for this International Women's Day 2021. Though we are well below the world average in the women empowerment, yet we are having some reasons to celebrate it. And then you please all, I don't say please nearby women empower other empowered women, empower women like that. Okay, so the real empowerment is aligned with ourselves, as she rightly pointed out, that self-confidence is very important. So with this, I once again thank the organizing committee and the conveners of this program for this wonderful opportunity to share my views. And another important thing is, don't give up at any time, because particularly
the research scholars, I know how much they are facing the issues in the working place, in the laboratory, and from the family circumstances. Only one thing is what we are, it should be decided as our choice and not by the situation or the atmosphere. That is the thing. Please all keep it in mind and then excel. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Swarnalata ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Now, thank you. Now the session is open for the question and answering. So the participants are requested, if they have any question in their mind, they can freely ask to our resource person, Dr. Swarnalata ma'am.
Please. Any questions? If you want to know much about the schemes or various awards, particularly in the STEM, you please you can send mail to me. I have given my mail ID in the very first slide. Okay, so you can feel free to ask me at any time. Okay, I'll give the information details about those schemes.
Okay, if there is no question from the participants, then I request Ms. Ashwini Kai ma'am to represent vote of thanks.
Myself, Ms. Ashwini Kai, I am here to speak of thanks to Chhatrapati Department Mashi Shahu Mahavidyalaya Autonomous or today's National E-Workshop on Women's STEM. Vice Principal Dr. Shinde sir, Head of Maths, is my deep sincere thanks to the Principal Dr. M.H. Gavan sir, Vice Principal Dr. S.N. Shinde sir, Head of Maths Department Dr. M.S. Vaure sir, Assistant Professor Ms. Pimpre sir, Mr. D.M. Goge sir, spending their precious time. I am very to resource person Dr. Krishna, Assistant Professor for Marine Science and Monomer University, Tirunelveli. I have covered all the points such as women in state, psychosociological issues, reports about women empowerment, social, cultural, and environmental, and how to maintain a balance between choosing family and profession, inequity and confidence based recognition. And the second person, Dr. Swarnalata ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, Ma'am Sundaranar University, Tirunelveli, Tamil Nadu. Ma'am has covered all the points in her, such as Ma'am has given general introduction, status of women, recognition of women's work, status of women in India, women's work and worth in STEM, challenges, issues faced by women, various organization schemes for women, and I am very thankful to both those persons who spent their precious time and delivered such a nice, encouraging and enlightened to us and spending their time here. I am also thankful to all students, friends and teachers to join and listen carefully. Thank you all of you.
Okay, thank you, Kari madam. Thank you, Krishnaveni madam. Thank you, Swarnalata madam, for delivering today's lecture, accepting our invitation. And I also thanks to all participants who have been with us today. The participants are requested that we'll have feedback form on our Telegram group. Please fill up the feedback form, and then we'll get e-certificate for this workshop. Once again, I will thanks to Dr. Krishnaveni madam and Dr. Suvarnalata madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawad. Okay, with this, I will end this meeting now. Okay, ma'am? Okay, bye.